Can just say yes, hi, hello.
Hello, everyone. Um, Sorry, we have zero viewers here. Okay, so we can go ahead. Hello, everyone. We are ready for our webinar, and you're all welcome. So, this is JL Health Consult, and we are here to enlighten you and take you the route of ensuring drug safety. Here today, we are anchoring our first episode of the drug safety webinar, and we hope that you have a nice time. So today we will be looking at illicit drugs and drugs of abuse, and we are inviting pharmacist God's gift, Iwende. Thank you very much.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please type in the chat box.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is God's Gift. Thank you so much for the introduction um, from Penwell. So I'll be talking about illicit substances, stroke drug abuse. Um, so we're going to be talking about quite a number of things, and we just have few minutes. So I'll just go straight to the point. So we're going to be talking about recent concerns on substance abuse and misuse. We're going to be talking about the hidden tragedies. We're going to be talking about tackling dependence. And we're also going to be talking about antidotes to drug or substance abuse. So before we go into all of this, we have to define some terms. We have to make some terms clear. So first of all, we're going to be defining the word abuse. What is abuse? Abuse is to basically misuse. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So abuse is simply means misusing what is supposed to be what something is supposed to be useful. So instead of you, for instance, to take 2 tablets of paracetamol every 8 hours, you decide to take 10 tablets of paracetamol every 12 hours or every 8 hours. So that means you're abusing that medication because you're not taking it judiciously. You're supposed to take it at the right time, the right way, the right dose. So if any of that is not taken into consideration, it means that you're abusing it. So when we talk about substance, substance means anything. Substance is anything. It can be clothes, it can be shoe, it can be drug, it can be alcohol, it can be cigarettes, it can be paper, it can be physics, it can be anything. So according to the World Health Organization, that's the WHO, substance abuse refers to the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances. So we're going to also define the word psychoactive. Psycho, when they say someone is psycho, in literal term, it means someone is kind of mad. So, or someone is not in his or her normal mental state. So, what this definition is trying to say is that any any substance that you use, anything that you use, be it liquid, be it metal, be it solid, be it air, anything that will cause harm to you is what is called substance abuse. The use of any of these substances. So some of these include cannabis, some of these include drugs, some of these include alcohol. Okay. So quickly we'll be going to the epidemiology. So Based on research in Nigeria, there has been some studies about drug abuse, substance abuse, and the likes. But in all, to summarize all the research that has been done, there was a report by the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime in Nigeria. So usually the overall office in charge of anything that has to do with illicit drugs or drug abuse or substance abuse is the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime. So they have offices in various countries in the United Nations, countries that are part of the United Nations. So Nigeria is one of them, and there was a report that was carried out. This was back in the year 2018 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So it indicated that about 14.4%, that is about 14.3 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 64 years abuse drugs. So remember when we were talking about substances, we talked about drugs, we talked about cannabis, we talked about alcohol. So this is just an aspect of the substance. This is just drug alone, drug abuse alone. And it was noted that 14.3 million Nigerians between the age of 15 and 64. So I think that is really alarming. And I think that is something that one should be really like scared of, especially considering the age, 15 years of age. In a normal and sane economy or a sane society, a 15-year-old should still be in secondary school. So imagine 15-year-olds abusing drugs as young as they are, people in secondary school abusing medications. So on a global scale, alcohol seems to be the most abused substance, with an average of every person in the world aged 15 years or older drink 6.2 liters of pure alcohol every year. So we talked about Nigeria. Nigeria's own is majorly drugs, while that of the global scale is majorly alcohol. So, and this is really scary, and it's, should I say, it's a silent pandemic because it's slowly destroying lives, and if one life is destroyed, indirectly a community is destroyed, indirectly a nation is being destroyed. Okay. Um, okay, so let's look at the concerns. What are we concerned about? Why are we even talking about drug abuse? Why are we talking about illicit substances? I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, yes, I hear you. Yeah. Oh wow. Just few moments after I will be back. The network issues just alarming.
Okay. So please, can you hear me?
Uh,
Okay, yeah. So
Yes,
please, you're
we
going
can
to
hear you.
pardon me.
Welcome back.
It's a general problem though in Nigeria that there is bad network service. So please, in case I go on and off, please just pardon me. Okay.
All
So
right.
talking about the concerns, why are we talking about illicit substances or drug abuse? Why are we talking about it? So first of all, we have to look at it from health angle. What are the health effects of abusing substances? What are the health effects of drug abuse? So I don't know if you noticed, but um, to a large extent, there has been like an increased rate in number of patients who are schizophrenic. So those, let's just put it in literal terms, people that are mad. So if you go to places, for instance, I live in Abuja. So it's formally, it's always so rare for you to see a mad person walking on the streets, on the express. Very, very rare. Like it happens once in a blue moon. But these days, there are quite a number of them. You see them walking on the streets, highways, everywhere. So it's really alarming. And that is one of the health effects of abusing all of these substances. Apart from the fact that hereditary might play a role, but if you go back and actually screen the root cause, most at times it's as a result of substance abuse or drug abuse. So that's one of the effects, madness. Let's put it that way, madness. So another effect is that it can cause deterioration in the person's health system. So it can affect the person's respiratory system. The person would have issues with his or her lungs. We've heard of different types of cancer. There's lung cancer, there's throat cancer. There are different types of cancers. So the person is actually prone to having lung cancer, especially if they abuse tobacco, the abuse of tobacco. And you know that a lot of cigarettes contain these tobaccos. So another health effect or another health implication is like kidney failures, system failures. So you've heard of people saying, oh, they are looking for organs to be donated to them, kidney donation, liver donation, even heart transplant sometimes. So all of these could actually be avoided if they had just stayed away from abusing drugs or abusing substances. So there are several stories to this. There are several stories. We've seen all these like GoFundMe kind of thing. I'm not saying all of them is as a result of drug abuse. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some might be as a result of drug abuse. Remember that we said when we're talking about substance abuse, anything at all. So alcohol too can be part of it. There's also different types of diseases. Sometimes it can even lead to diabetes. Sometimes it can lead to liver cirrhosis, and some big grammars. Some autoimmune disease can even take place. So that's one of it. Another concern is environmental concern. So you know that if someone is smoking, and for instance you don't smoke, definitely there's a way you would feel. You wouldn't feel comfortable staying around that environment. If you consistently stay in environments where people are smoking, igbo, you will not be able to breathe well. You will not just be comfortable. And you know that smoking all of this substance, I'm just using smoking as an example. Smoking of all of this substance even causes heat. And right now, in Nigeria, in Abuja to be precise, the heat is something else. Then imagine someone contributing to the heat that one is facing. So that's one of the effects. Another effect is depletion of the ozone layer. So I don't know if you've heard of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, usually we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out um, carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is what's dia and dioxide, that is two oxygen, mono one. So some of these things that people smoke, some of these things that people take, yield carbon monoxide, and carbon monoxide is not good for our ecosystem. It depletes the ozone layer, and that's why sometimes now you see that we're having harsh weather conditions, or even a change in the system or weather conditions. Because carbon monoxide because I'm already at social or developmental concerns. Did you hear that part? If you had health effects concerns or concerns, can you do like this? If you had environmental concerns, can you do like this? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I was talking about social or developmental factors. So I was talking about the increased crime rates as regards armed robbers, kidnappers, and the likes in our society. I was saying that most of them are linked to drug abuse. If you take a critical look at them, if you look at these pictures, if you look at the pictures or the videos of some of these criminals that have been caught, you would see from their physical appearance, you know that something is wrong. Something is wrong somewhere with this person. So you can see from the person's eyes, their eyes are usually like yellowish and reddish, and they look like they want to fight, like they're ready to fight. Um, their mouths might be a little pale or peeling. Their fingers, you can notice that their nails are not looking fresh or fine. It's usually like very dark in color and all of that. So you know, and their teeth is not like pure white. Their teeth is always got a very strange way. Sometimes like this type of brown or even very dark yellow. All of these are kind of signs that this person is likely abusing substances or abusing drugs. So I was saying that they are linked to crime rates, increase in crime rates. So and that is a big concern because it can cause a lot of things. It can cause loss of lives, it can cause loss of properties, it can even limit the growth of a community. A community. If you've heard of country to not really progress, talk more of the nation. If a nation is constantly terrorized, definitely there will be little or no progress in that nation. So you see, just this small thing I've been like, oh, let me just abuse this medication. Oh, let me just nothing do me. I just want to feel fine. Let me just forget about Nigerian problem. And then you begin to take different Hello, please can you hear
Welcome.
me? I'm so sorry. I'm
Yeah,
trying
no
my best
problem
with
about that.
all these networks. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Okay, you're
Um,
welcome.
it's beyond me. Please have
Yeah.
mercy. Okay. So I was talking about um some medications such as cough expectorants. I was saying that although it yields more profit to the pharmaceutical firms or pharmaceutical industry because the products are being sold, they're being sold on a large scale and it's just being abused. I'm not saying that pharmaceutical industry should not make money. Please, we need to make money. But I'm saying that we should please desist from um, not doing the right things, not using the medications the right way, not um, taking our medications as it should be. Okay. So some hidden tragedies. Um, okay, sorry. I think there's one more thing about this social or development effect. So I don't know if some of us have heard, but um, Nigeria, our presidency, our Senate, and all, they brought out a bill to say that like laws or policies, they they institutionalized some policies and said that basically um, tobacco, sugar, yeah, I think those were the two main things that they talked about in that policy. That they're going to increase their taxes. They're going to increase their taxes because it is being abused, actually that of tobacco and alcohol. So they do that in order to dissuade or discourage people from abusing them. So there was a study that was carried out, I think that was 2 years ago or 3 years ago in Nigeria, and it indicated that there was now an increase in the rate of diabetes. So that was a strategy that the government had to use, that they had to increase sugar, the tax of sugar, so that people will be discouraged. So that's why sometimes you can see now. I think after that, yeah, after that happened, prices of drinks, Fanta, Coke, and quite a number of them increased. The prices increased. So that's why you see some people going back to local drinks like kunu, zobo, and the likes. And actually, those ones are even more nutritious compared to some of these commercial drinks. Okay. So implications of hidden tragedies. So again, there's what we call the Nigeria's Mental Health and Substance Abuse Bill 2019. Although it is yet to come into full implementation and full enforcement, but it's the right step in the right direction. At least there's a bill, and this bill is just talking about Nigerians paying attention to their mental health. So in other parts of the world, mental health is something that is very critical. Although the WHO defined health that health is being in the proper state mentally, financially, emotionally, and the likes. But Nigeria and some African countries, that was not really a priority. But now, at least now we are seeing that it's now like a priority. In some countries, for instance, they've decided that, oh, instead of having 5 working days, it's now 4 working days because they conducted some studies and studies indicated that people who worked for just 4 working days carried out their responsibilities effectively and efficiently compared to those who were going to work for 5 working days. So that is to show you that a lot of countries are making efforts into ensuring that their populace pay attention to their mental health, and now Nigeria is one of them. So another aspect we should consider is the law enforcement agencies. There are so many laws in Nigeria. There are plenty drug laws, drug policies, and the likes. But one of the issues we're facing is enforcement. So I don't know how many of us travel by road, especially even by air. For instance, if you want to travel to some countries, almost all countries now, right now, um, aside customs, there's NDLEA. NDLEA stands for National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. So they're responsible for enforcing all the drug laws in Nigeria. So if you're, for instance, now if you're traveling from, let's say, Kaduna to Jos, there's no way you will not come across them in one way or the other. Especially on the major highway, you see some of them with this red and black outfits, and some of them are even armed. They tell you, oh, stop, stop, and then they check your car. They just want to be sure that you're not one of these substance abusers. We have so many, like we've mentioned earlier, substances that can be abused. We have cannabis too, because in Nigeria it is not legalized. In some countries, like in America, cannabis is legalized, but in Nigeria it is not legalized. So if you're found with any of those substances, by law, you're supposed to be punished. So this punishment is either you going to prison, either you paying a fine. Those are the laws. So that's why you see that sometimes you hear stories like, oh, someone was caught with 1 kg of cocaine. The person was transporting it to China. The person was deported. So that whole deportation process takes place because NDLEA, together with other agencies like the customs, work hand in hand to ensure that they keep the drug abuse and substance abuse at a minimum. Okay, so we also have one of the tragedies is healthcare infrastructure. So sadly, the health system in Nigeria faces poor funding, poor budgetary allocation, and times without number, individuals, organizations, they've come to talk about it. They've said, oh, why is there much money budgeted to other sectors and not even the health sector? Because it's someone that is alive that can actually carry out any other activity. Someone that's alive that can practice agriculture. Someone that's alive that can be in the educational sector. So actually, health should be number one. Health should be prioritized. But sadly, that's not the reality on ground. But anyways, I believe that the government is working towards it, and I believe that we should not just wait for the government. If you have the finances, if you have partnerships, even international sponsorships that can help curtail drug abuse and illicit substance abuse, that is wonderful. So don't just wait for the government. You as an individual, you can do something. So I'm going to be talking about what you can do or what we can do as an individual. Okay, later on. So the next one is professional care. So in a lot of developed countries, we talked about mental health. Um, they have mental health specialists, they have psychiatrists, they have counselors, they even have support groups. So I don't know if you watch a lot of movies, but in a lot of movies, you see where they say someone is trying to recover from alcohol addiction or tobacco addiction. You see that they meet at a particular place at a particular time. They talk about their fears, they talk about their story, their background. People that have already survived the addiction process, people that are currently surviving, and then people who wish to survive. They all mix together and they talk about it, and they just try to help each other out. So in Nigeria, I believe that's something that is just starting. So I'm just saying it's something that just starting, and it's something that I believe would help a lot of individuals, because in Nigeria or Nigerians, we don't really like to talk so much about problems. We like to just be strong and just believe that everything is okay. But outside the country, they talk about everything, like how they're not feeling too well. Like they have numerous on the internet, they have numerous group chats, they have channels you can talk to someone, they have hotlines, you can always call somebody, someone is always on the phone. They have hotlines and like that. I believe Nigeria would get to that level, and I believe things to get better. They also have psychiatrists, they have counselors. You see, um when, for instance, in some movies and even in reality TV shows, you see them saying, "Oh, we need to go and talk to our psychiatrist. Oh, we need to go and talk to our psychologist. Oh, we need to talk to our counselor." Why? Because um, they value that thing is spirituality. So as Africans, as Nigerians, we're very spiritual. Um, we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have traditionalists, we have numerous religions, and a lot of people sometimes attach drug abuse or substance abuse to spirituality. They'll be like, "Oh, it's a demonic spirit that entered the person," or um, that it runs in the family, generation after generation, stuffs like that, or just superstitious beliefs. So that is actually a thing of concern, and there are numerous school of thoughts to this. But in all, I would like to say that anything that you're doing, let it be that it's going to lead to something that is positive. So, for instance, now it's not that you now sideline them and say, "Oh, they are cursed." Then you make the first person feel bad the more. You make the person even likely commit suicide or go into depression, or the person would even continue with the drug addiction because the person will feel worthless. So anything that you want to do not make the person feel worse. Rather, what you should be doing is to lend a helping hand. Okay. So then there's also a medical care. So medical attention. So you can see a doctor. You can see a doctor. Um, Although I know that in Nigeria, you know that because of the populace of Nigerians and the number of doctors in Nigeria, it's not it's very rare for you to see a doctor that will sit down with you and talk to you calmly without any hurry and say, "Oh, what is the issue? Oh, this, or that." You wouldn't blame them because they have so many patients to attend to and they're trying to meeting the health needs of various people. So actually, this calls for like specializations, especially in the aspect of mental health care or rehabilitations, so that doctors and health professionals, not just doctors, health professionals, pharmacists, nurses, can also participate in curbing this drug abuse or illicit substance abuse. Okay. So what is dependence? So dependence simply means to rely on somebody or something. You can rely on someone for survival. You can rely on someone for support. This support can be financial. This support can be mental. Support can be educational. Support can be for life. It can be for food. So so when we talk about like substance dependence, it simply means that someone is relying on substances to survive. So you know that some people there's there's this pain relief medication. I don't want to mention the name, but a lot of people abuse it because, for instance, they underwent a very serious surgery, and as a result of the surgery, they had a lot of pains. And so, the best is one of the best medications given to relieve pains, especially for post-surgery cases. And then, just because it makes them feel good, it makes them feel relaxed, they begin to abuse it, and before you know it, yeah, it's no longer funny. The person cannot do without it. The person like if the person doesn't take I've seen patients like that because I've worked in a community pharmacy. I've worked in hospital pharmacy as well. I've seen people that if they don't take that pain relief in a day, it's like they're going to run mad. So they are totally dependent on it. Their life depends on it. No matter all the ice cream and the shawarma that you give to them, if they don't take that, they don't feel alive. So it is a very serious issue. It is a very serious issue. Okay, so what are the possible solutions to this? So number one, you have medications. There's some medications for it. So for instance, as a result, we talk about substance abuse, talk about alcohol, talk about cannabis, we talk about tobacco. So there are some gums. We have this gum, they call it nicotine gum. So for someone who wants to stop smoking, someone that has been smoking for long, someone that is addicted to smoking, you have nicotine gum. So instead of the person to like be holding the cigarette from one place to another, the whole shame, the whole shame, let me put it that way. The person would rather just chew gum. So it's a way of removing the dependence on. It's a gradual process. It's not that it's going to be automatic. Because imagine someone has been smoking for 5 years. You just tell the person that the person should stop smoking. That is almost impossible. So that's why it's a gradual process. That nicotine gum is one of the processes that is used. So instead of the person to be smoking, the person will just be chewing the gum. It will still give them slightly that effect as if they are smoking. And again, it's the quantity of nicotine that they're taking into their body system is now lesser than when they are smoking. So it's just a like a control measure. It's not that it is something that will just make them completely stop smoking. It's just like a control measure. We have other medications. We have methadone. We have naltrexone. Then we also have counseling, rehabilitation centers. So prior to preparing for this, I know that there were some psychiatric centers in Nigeria or rehabilitation centers in Nigeria. But today, as of today, I said, let me, I went through it like some days ago. Today again, I said, let me go through it again. And I was really, really impressed. There are so many rehabilitation centers in Nigeria now. So many. There are some that are government owned, there are some that are privately owned, there are some that's non-governmental. And the one that made me to be excited was the one about the ones that are owned by religious bodies. For instance, within Christian Church of God, they have some rehabilitation centers. And the good thing again is that these rehabilitation centers are spread across the country. There are some in Imo State, some in Lagos, some in Abuja. So it's not that it's just secluded to a particular area. And I think that is a good thing. That is really a nice thing. Then there I also came across quite a number of organizations um and support groups online. Like they have like a group, a social media account. Yeah, they have social media account. They have people working there. Like some of them are full-time staff, some of them are volunteers, and some of them even go campaigns, go to schools, do outreaches, all those stuff. I think that's really, really good. And it actually helps to curb this of substance dependence. Then we also have family and love. Sincerely, if your family or your loved ones, you don't have someone that's close to you, that's pushing you or encouraging you. I know that they said you have to help yourself first before someone can help you. But sometimes that little help from someone can boost the help from inside, can boost your own help. So that leads to encouragement from one's siblings, from one's friends, neighbors, cousins, relatives, can actually help someone to say, oh, have you not heard of some people that their parents have talked and said perhaps the person joined the wrong group of friends at a younger age and the person was smoking, bad gang kind of thing. And then the parents have talked, they have prayed and all. And then all of a sudden, person just says, tells the parents or tells the friend, see, please, I want to stop doing this thing. I'm having a change of mind. I want to make my family proud. They have that my parents have put in too much effort, so I cannot continue being a disappointment to them. I cannot continue to bring shame to them. If their parents had deserted them, if their friends and loved ones had deserted them, I'm telling you, they will not be motivated to do that. They'll just be like, I'm abandoned. Nobody cares about me. But if they see that show of love, that regardless of the fact that they are already involved in those substance abuse or drug abuse, that there's hope for them. I'm telling you, one way or the other, at a point in time, they would. realize their mistakes and try to do the right thing. Okay, so some antidotes to substance abuse, we have medications. I think I mentioned some like naltrexone or methadone and the likes. The most important of them all is prevention. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. So the best thing is don't even get involved. Don't even say, oh, let me smoke one. Oh, let me abuse one. Let me just, it's not a small party. I just went for an event. Let me just smoke two puff of shisha. From there,
Ah,
before you know, be like, ah, that one was flavored. Let me taste
sincerely.
another flavor. You go for another occasion, say, oh, let me taste another flavor. Before you know, you just start getting entangled with that, with all of those, and before you know, eh, nobody can help you. So please, the best thing is stay away. Stay away. Another thing is educational and social campaigns. Like I said earlier on, there are so many organizations doing that. If you go to Instagram, if you go to LinkedIn, you go to Facebook, they're saying, "Oh, stop drug abuse." You've even in talent shows that I really love all those people that do extraordinary things in a very unique way. I've watched this the Nigeria talent, something like that. I've watched drama, people act about drug abuse, substance abuse, and you are touched and you feel it. Some people sing songs about it, but a drop of water is what makes a mighty ocean. So you just keep on doing the things that you do. You don't know the one that would actually help such individuals. Okay, so
Hello, can anyone hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, let me see the comment box. Okay, if you can hear me, please let me see on the comment box. All right, so we've come to the end of tonight's webinar. I'm glad you all have values. You received a lot, and the speaker did justice to everything. Okay. All right. So you can hear me. That's fine. All right. I wanted to know. So that's good. So the speaker has done justice to illicit substances and drug of abuse. If you have any question, please you can drop it in the next 3 minutes. In the next 3 minutes. So we call it a day. And as we wait for the questions, we really apologize for the glitches so far. I mean, it wasn't easy, but we've definitely come to the end of today. All right, so you can hear me. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for the glitch. We really apologize, and tomorrow promises to be very, very great. I mean, building on what pharmacist God's gift UND has done today. A wonderful, wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Juan. We really love you, and we're wanting to bring you back again. And we pray that the next time we have you, network we permit us. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. God bless you.